Tonight, live from Studio A in San Francisco, KRON-TV presents SFO with Steve Jamison. Tonight, Steve's special guests are lawyer Melvin Belli, public speaking expert Bert Decker, and you'll see a battle between two robots.
And now, please welcome the star of our show, Mr. Steve Jamison.
I tell you, there's excitement in the air tonight. We're on live, as we are most nights here on SFO. And one of our special guests got here about 30 seconds ago, Mel Belli. He's got a busy schedule, and believe me, there's blood on the floor upstairs. We weren't sure what we were going to do, but we're going to get Melvin out here in a second. What's your name?
Leslie.
Leslie, I'm going to show you something right now that we're going to go outside later and see. Okay. It's we're calling it Robot Wars. Mark Pauline, who is considered or called the James Dean of the Junkyard, has set up kind of a conceptual art robot exhibition that's going to destroy itself later. In fact, on that monitor, if you look over there, you'll see outside right now in the George Olson used car lot right next to KRON. They're setting it up. It looks like a catapult, and that's going to explode, and it's going to do something that he's going to explain to us. I have no idea. Are you interested?
Yes.
You're easy to please, aren't you? That's the lousiest explanation of something that's going to be on the show I've ever heard. Well, you go enjoy the show. You can sit down over there, or wherever you want to sit, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you read the paper in the Chronicle this morning. Article about Melvin Belli, which says Melvin Belli is suing all of the banks in California and the savings and loans institutions for $85 billion. That's with a B, as in Belli. $85 billion for what they have done to California residents, which he says has been assessing California's charges every time you miss a late mortgage payment. He says that's wrong, the whole thing is out of whack, and he's going after all of the banks. Anybody that goes after the banks has got to be doing something right. Would you welcome one of the country's most flamboyant and successful lawyers, Melvin Belli. You got a busy schedule. You arrived just as we were going on the air. You had us worried.
I went to the station, I forget the name, down at the end of Van Ness. They sent me down to Battery. I went by my office and had time to do a brief and get a cup of coffee, and then came out here. And this was the last one I was going to try. I was going to go on home and go to bed with Rumpy. He's my Italian greyhound. I was going to give up.
I'm glad you arrived.
So I finally got here.
I mentioned that you are suing all of the banks in California. How did this lawsuit come about?
Well, David Sabi is really a brilliant lawyer, and he told me that he had an $85 billion lawsuit. And I said, 85 million, that's pretty good. He says, no, that's 85 billion. So he showed me the code sections, and sure enough, I find that the banks and the savings and loans have been charging rates of interest that my client and friend Mickey Cohen and the Mafia would be ashamed to charge. You know, when you have, and maybe I'd have some clients here tonight, if you borrow money from the bank on a house, every month you've got to put into that bank money for taxes at the end of the year. That's called an impound. They're supposed to pay you interest on that. Not only don't they pay you interest, but if there's a late payment, they charge you on the impound as well as the late payment. But the long and short of it is that there's about $40 billion that belongs to the taxpayers here that I think that we're going to get back and go back 10 years. Yeah. And the other 40 is for punitive damages. Yeah.
How are you going to, if you win, how are you going to distribute the money? Who gets this $85 billion?
Well, I get a little.
Somebody, we were kidding about, somebody said earlier, if Mel wins this case against the banks, ask Mel if he'll accept master charge if they pay.
The labor in the vineyard is worthy of his hire. Biblically, I'm entitled to something. I would take some of mine I'm going to get me an atomic submarine. I'm going to get a crew of virginal 18-year-old girls as sailors. We're going to go around the world. And it's perfectly legal because my wife, my daughter, Rumpy, my Italian greyhound, my son are going with me. And I've got a gay cook, so I'm getting 3 young boys to go along the crew.
You're covering your bases, huh?
No, we're going to give every last dime to charity when we win it. We're going to win it soon because it's down in Monterey where you can get the trial in 4 months. Otherwise, you'd wait for 5 years to get the trial, and then 5 more years on appeal. And boy, these banks have got a lot of these lawyers that can put a snow barrage of papers that runs on into my old age, which is a long ways away, I might add.
Listen, speaking of your age, I understand in about a month you've got a 74th birthday coming up. Is that right?
I'd like to say I'm still 73. When you get to be 73, you don't look at 74. When you get to 74, you look back at 73.
Well, the reason I ask is because you're known for your flamboyant parties. Now, is a 70...
No, just flamboyant, just the color of the coat is flamboyant.
Do you have
that's
anything
all.
special planned for the 71st?
Oh, yes, we're going to have the Belli Society. That's about 1,000 of the best lawyers in the United States. We're going to meet at the St. Francis. Chief Justice Rose Bird's a trustee. Going to have Pat and Jerry Brown there. We're going to have lawyers from all over the United States. Turk Murphy's band. We're going to have a great time there. And this is the beginning of our foundation. Each of them pays $500 already for a trustee and $100 for a fellow. And we're using the money to do moot court and lectures on the goodness of the common law all over the world.
Do you feel any different today at 73 than you did when you were 33? Or?
Yeah, I got more hell in me now than I had at 20. I should say, instead of feeling more like it, I think more like it.
I see. Well, maybe before you go, if you have any tips here on aging gracefully, I know that you never touch alcohol, and maybe that's the secret of your success.
No, the Lord has protected me by giving me an ulcer some time ago, and I had to slow down on the alcohol. And I think I'll stay away from cancer because I don't smoke cigarettes. My wife is 30. And I've got a dog about that big who's a year and a half. Everybody around the house is young, so I've just got to stay young. And if I ache in pain, I've got to do that by myself in the closet.
I see. Well, good luck. Good luck on the $85 billion lawsuit. And
we'll make it.
We'll have you back when you collect on that and find out what you did with all the money.
It's going to go to charity.
And good luck on that cruise on the atomic submarine. Mel Belli.
Next time, tell me where you are so I don't contaminate the water.
I'm sorry.
Coming up next, the results of last week's public speaking experiment. Stay with us.
By the way, Outside our studios, what we were showing as we came back was a conceptual art, something that we're going to blow up later. Mark Pauline is out there fixing all these catapults and robots, and I don't know what he's going to do, but we're going to see it live in just a bit. Last week, if you're watching the show, we had a communications expert on who says that Americans fear getting up and speaking in front of a group of people more than they fear death. Doesn't that sound a little strange? He buys that theory, and apparently it's true because statistically people are terrorized about getting up in front of people. We had someone in our audience get up last week. In fact, a few people get up. He picked the worst one, and he took him to his seminar where he has been putting him through the rigors of being comfortable in front of people for the last couple of days. They just finished the classes about 2.5 hours ago. We're going to introduce in a minute the volunteer who was here last week making a fool of herself and find out what a great public speaker she is after these seminars. But first, I'd like you to welcome the man who runs them. Would you welcome communications expert Bert Decker? Good to see you, Bert. Good to see you. Now, give me the name again of the lady who you chose to help.
Denise Elliott.
All right, Denise was here last week, and we're going to show you briefly. We asked her an extemporaneous question and asked her to talk for 20 seconds.
Can I say one thing before?
Yeah.
Because I have to tell you, she's very courageous for doing it because we mostly deal with business people, senior executives and managers, and she went into that kind of setting for the last 2 days. That's what we just came from.
Now, we're going to look at the tape of her last week. Before we do, what are the mistakes she was making that we might see?
Well, you will see that she has some non-words, some ums and ahs, and a lot of eye dart, which a lot of people have when they're nervous. They don't look at one individual in the audience, they glance around. And then the old fig leaf that we talked about last week, remember?
If you can see it on the camera, she's moving her hands a lot like that, wringing her hands. Now, you've cured her of all of this stuff.
Well, now, you don't just cure like that, but she'll be able to
All right, let's take a look. Last week at Denise, when she was here, she didn't know she was going to be chosen. We pulled her out of the audience and asked her to talk about asking for a raise from her boss, I guess was the question. Here she is. Let's look at Denise last week as we introduced her. Why your boss should give you a raise?
Because I don't take long breaks, and because I don't eat as much ice cream, and because I close pretty fast, and I talk to people a lot, and I don't get mad if they don't know what they want. Sometimes.
All right, that's good enough. That was Denise Elliott. That was last week, Denise Elliott, and as you can see, she was a little self-conscious about being in front of a crowd, and we're going to see if she's made any improvement after your intensive public speaking course. Would you welcome the retrained, or the trained, or the comfortable, whatever she is, Denise Elliott. Now, Denise, let me get this because we're going to have you. We're going to give you another little test. Did you know this? Yeah, we're going to ask you a question we haven't told you about. But first of all, what was the class like? Did it help? Do you think?
Oh yeah, I think it did because I wasn't. I was more aware of things that I didn't notice mainly, and now I am.
All right, we're going to talk about it in a second. But I'm going to ask a question that we have for you, and I just want in 20 seconds to show our audience and all of the people watching at home how comfortable you are in front of an audience, how perfectly at ease you are speaking publicly, how much you enjoy being in front of a crowd.
Yes.
How do you like that?
All right?
Pressure.
Here, let me just ask you this in 20 seconds or so. Describe for our viewers at home your idea of the perfect man.
I think the perfect man is somebody who understands you and who won't dedicate himself to you, but who will share with you some of his things. And I don't want anybody to change. I just want to understand people. And I think the perfect man is somebody who understands me for who I am.
That's very good. You are comfortable. You're comfortable. You're no fun. You've gotten too good at this. Now tell me the truth. Last week I was standing over here and I could see your hands trembling, and I couldn't.
Oh,
are you as comfortable as you appear?
Well, I thought I was going to be nervous, but I'm not as nervous as I thought I was.
Yeah. Did you? Now, what kinds of things did Bert tell you in the seminar that help you get up and speak in front of a crowd? What kinds of things do you think about?
Well, that everybody's nervous, and so don't worry about that. And the eye contact mainly, that you have to keep it in order to make people feel comfortable with you.
You got great eye contact, let me tell you that.
Thank you.
Big brown eye contact, I like it. Did you find that as you went through the course that you do, is it getting over fear or just controlling it? Do you reduce the fear, or is it just a matter of
No,
working
it's just
with it?
controlling it mainly, because you always will have it, but it's just you have to work with presenting it.
Yeah, well, I think you've done a good job, and I appreciate you helping us out, because it's not easy going through this whole thing. It is terrorizing getting up in front of a crowd. Denise, thank you.
Thank
Bert,
you.
thank you for helping out, and good luck. Bert Decker and his communications seminar. Thank you. That was great. Yeah, she did a good job. Be right back. Okay, now, before we take a break here, I want to just mention we're going to go outside during this commercial. We'll be out in front of our studios at the George Olson used car Cadillac dealership, where Mark Pauline has set up a conceptual art, what are we going to call this? A conceptual art something or other that is going to, we're calling it Robot Wars is what we're going to do. He's out there, and I think we're almost set. We'll take a break, and anybody in the studio here that'd like to join us, come on outside, and we're going to blow up some robots and see what he's doing. We'll be right back after this. Come on along.
Coming up next, it's Star Wars 1981 style, as two real robots take each other on. Stay with us.
You guys gotta help each other with, you know, I can't always, I know, but what I'm saying is, we gotta help each other with.
When we start talking, how are we doing, Don? We'll be directed at over here. Now,
Okay.
let me back you up, because you may want to see what we're showing to talk about. I don't think you need this either.
Okay. Pocket it right now.
So when we start saying, explain what it is, you may want to look at the monitor and just... Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let me see the last... We're back on the lot of the George Olson used car dealership right next to our studios at Van Ness Avenue in O'Farrell with Mark Pauline. Mark, how are you?
I'm just fine.
Now, you've heard me wrestling with a description of what it is you're going to do, but I say we're going to have some conceptual art with a conceptual artist, and he's going to do something called a trip to the bottomless pit of everlasting fire. Now, I have no idea what's going to
Short
happen.
excursion to the bottomless pit of everlasting fire.
What is it you do?
What is it? Right now, what I'm going to do is you're going to hear a very unusual noise. After you hear that unusual noise, this cover here is not going to be there anymore.
All right.
This cover is going to be gone. That white cover right there on that face is going to be gone. You're just going to see something even more unusual under there. And after that, we're going to be firing at it with Monty Kazaza on the special exploding dart gun.
Monty Kazaza is on the...
Kazaza right there.
Nice round of applause for Monty Kazaza. Monty, you're looking good tonight.
And then we're going to cut to this catapult right here
All right.
and fire boulders and spears.
All right, this catapult is directed at the white board. Now, what's the point of all of this?
Well, it's based on the design of Alexander the Great, and the point is to provide the people here in the audience with some anti-escapist entertainment, something that's going to bring them into touch with some of the worst experiences they've ever had.
All right, anti-escapist entertainment. Are you all ready? Are we ready with the cameras? Freddie, if you're set, I'm going to turn Mark Pauline loose on a short excursion into the pit of everlasting fire.
That's it.
All right, I have no idea what you're going to do, but knock yourself out. We'll back off. If you need any help here from any of us, is there any problem with me standing next to you?
Okay, it's gonna come out of there. Watch out. Uh-oh, here it comes. Whoa! Whoa, whoa! We're getting a little side sliding here. Get that ready.
There you go.
Whoa. Okay, you're gonna see that spear in just a second, folks. We got our little pig here. He's kind of having a hard time over there. Whoa, right in the mouth. Uh-oh, look out.
I get a feeling a lot of people would like to do this to their boss someday.
I think a lot of people probably do it to their bosses. A lot of people I talk to.
It's kind of a punk version of 9 to 5.
Yeah, kinda.
How long can this go on? Forever?
Not very much longer, but it probably will go on forever for some of the people here. Neil, get ready. Get ready.
It was a dud.
Get ready. Okay.
Now, this is the coup de grace.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
Go! Woo! Straighten that out! Fast, 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 fast! Pull that back, straighten that out! Okay, watch out! You better stand aside. Stand aside. Stand aside. Hey, somebody go out there and help him out. Help him out! I think that's it.
A nice round of applause for Mark Pauline.
Cracking up.
Mark, come on over here. Mark.
I'd like to ask you.
Yes, I'm curious. Is this something that you ever expect to see on the Lawrence Welk Show?
Well, I don't know. I don't watch much TV, but
This is an unusual thing you do. Is each one designed with a different theme or different concept?
that's right. But they're all basically related by they're looking to the darker side of human nature.
Yeah, anti-escapist
Anti-escapist entertainment. That's right. Whoa! They just won't stop, will they?
I got a feeling you got your training during Vietnam.
I never went there, but I've thought about it a lot.
All right.
Okay, this is it. Last one.
Who's
Ready,
that last
aim, fire. Hit it with your hand. Hit it with a stick right down there. Hit that stick. Hit it with that stick. Whoa! Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Pauline. Thank you, Mark. We'll be right back after this. We're back outside our studios here with Mark Pauline, a conceptual artist, and a lot of people who are his fans and people who don't know what the heck is going on. What's your name?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
You can't. Well, I see. I'm glad. We got 80 people here, and I pick out somebody that can't tell me his name. Can you tell me your name? Yes. So come here a second. Susan, now you're watching all this. What do you make of it?
I don't know. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, now, how would you describe it? How would you describe it to someone that hasn't seen it?
Weird, far out.
Yeah. Really? Mark, come on over. Let me just talk to this gentleman. Now, what's your name?
Johnny.
Johnny, we set this up as a short excursion into the bottomless pit of everlasting fire. Did I get the name?
Exactly.
How would you describe it?
Really different, really sensational.
Yeah.
A lot of special effects.
Did you ever hear of Mark Pauline before?
Never.
Yeah, this guy is very popular, very well known in the city. This gentleman here, come on over here. I suspect you may have heard of Mark Pauline before.
Who?
What's your name?
Dan Davidson.
Dan, you don't work with him on this crew at all, do you?
No. I just came out here to see that spear given that guy's.
Did you enjoy it?
Well,
Do you find it anti-escapist entertainment?
It's better than watching television.
This was on television, see?
That's too bad.
That's too bad. Mark, I appreciate your helping us out, and I have to admit, you told us what was going to happen, and you did everything. Yeah. Hey, it's good to see you. Always good to see fans.
All I can say is,
right? Excuse me. Pardon? It was your pleasure?
Pardon me?
It was your pleasure?
It was my pleasure, I have to say.
We'll have you back again.
Pleasure.
I enjoyed it.
And I hope I get to come back again.
We'll have you back. Thank you, Mark. We'll be right back. Next Monday. This is Friday night. Seems like it's out of time and sequence. See you Monday at 7:30. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Always good to see something that's not afraid to see.
Some of the guests of SFO stay at the beautiful Hyatt Hotel on Union Square. Tonight, from Studio A in San Francisco, KRON-TV presents SFO with Steve Jamison. Tonight, you'll see house cats that are trained to attack. Meet ex-car thief Tinker Whittier. See a Japanese drum duel. And you'll enjoy the music of Billy Philadelphia.
And now, would you welcome the star of our show, Steve Jamison! Woo!
They're so nice. You know what these are? Little beagles? Huh? Aren't they cute? Huh? And you know they've been trained not to go to the bathroom on brown coats like I've got on here? Oh, they're so nice. This is part, these puppies actually have already begun training. What is it? It's that Alpo cologne I've got on, huh? They have begun training to save consumers millions of dollars every year. Look at those kids, huh? Whoa. Huh? What they do when they're full grown, and we're going to see it proved in just a second, is seek out and destroy termites, all right? We're going to bring out a full-grown beagle who's going to find some termites on the set, and the trainer, Bob Outman, is here to demonstrate what the dogs do. He says you can train almost any animal to do almost anything, including goldfish or even beagles. Look down there, smile at the camera. Even beagles to seek out termites. Now, before I bring Bob out from the Prion Animal Institute, let me just, what? Let me put you over here. You can watch the rest of the show. Would you hold it, little beagle? You want to hold one? Sure. All right. Don't send us don't send us the cleaning bills on that. They're so cute. Now watch the rest. Don't play with the dogs all night. If I can't trust you here, we're going to bring out a gentleman right now who's going to bring out JJ, a trained beagle. Somewhere on this set we have hidden termites. He is going to seek out those termites. Would you welcome from the Prion Animal Institute, Bob Outman and JJ. Now, let me turn you around, JJ. Get your best side here to the camera. JJ has been trained to do something I guess most dogs don't even think about doing, finding termites.
It's the world's first exploration of dogs' utilization to service of mankind.
Yeah.
Beyond what dogs normally do.
Yeah, now in a second, we're going to bring out an attack cat, a pussy cat that's been trained to attack. Before we show you that, I want to show you this dog finding the termites, and I guess one of the reasons it's important is because termites, I mean, you can look at some wood, and on the front, what's visible to the eye looks good, and behind it will be the termites.
Right. When a termite inspector goes into a house, the inspector can only rely on his eyes, a flashlight beam, and a probe. Yeah. He makes his inspection, and all that he can find is what's visual.
All right.
The way I came about this entire project is I bought a home that was deemed free of termites.
Yeah.
Accidentally, I found termites later, which was in excess of $400 worth of damage.
How does a dog, what is it about a termite the dog finds? I mean, does it sound, smell, chewing wood, or what?
The dogs utilize almost all of their senses.
Okay, now I'm going to show you utilizing those senses. First of all, get out the little thing of termites that we have. This is what they look like if you've never seen any. And let me hold that up. These are termites, right here, as you can see. That's what they look like. Oh, the dog likes those termites. Now I'm going to put those somewhere else. These are not, we have hidden termites like this underneath our couch. Now the dog doesn't understand English, and he doesn't. So I can say that. I'm going to get out of your way, and JJ, you just let him wander around and find the termites, all right? Let me get rid of these so it doesn't confuse him. All right, go ahead, Bob, whenever you want.
Seek. You're working an audience, too, around people. Seek. Let's dig them out. Seek, find them, dig them out. Seek.
I think somebody's got termites on their shoes over there.
As long as there's no wooden legs around here. Seek.
How will we know when he finds the termites?
You'll see the dog start to alert. Seek. His ears will perk up. Seek. He'll start digging. Seek.
We put the termites under the couch.
Dig them out. Seek. Show me where they're at. Dig them. Seek. Show me where they're at. Seek. Well, dig them out. Show me. Dig them. Seek. Right there.
Is that where they are?
Dig them out. Dig them out. Show me. Dig them. Dig them out. Show me where they're at. Seek.
Those termites are in trouble now.
Good boy, atta baby. Good boy.
Is that where they are? He wants those termites. All right. Good. Wait a minute. wait, I just realized I put the termites on the piano. Hold on, we don't want them over there. I'm going to bring out now, I'll tell you what, let's have JJ join the pups over here. And we're going to bring out a cat that you have trained at your animal institute to attack. They say you cannot train cats. Bob has proved otherwise, I think. You may have seen this particular cat on television. All right? All right. What's the name of the cat? Good. This is...
The cat's name is Mickey.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouser.
Mickey Mouser.
He's the mascot at Prion Animal Institute.
Now, this cat looks rather docile.
He's very docile, yes.
Now, you've trained him to do what?
The animals can do almost anything you want them to do.
All right.
And as a matter of fact, I can let you work him.
I will.
If you'll take your ring off.
All right.
And just put your ring in front of him.
Will he do anything while I do that?
No, he's fine. And then tell him to attack.
Attack.
To watch that ring.
Watch that ring.
Okay, and I'll just go over.
Get a little wider there so we can see the hand coming in.
Okay, he's...
What if I want my ring back?
He's... Okay, now right now he's on guard of that particular property. If I take his attention off of it, if I go back, if I go for the ring, he stays with it. Now, give him the command to O-U-T, out.
Out. Out. That's interesting. That's
and
interesting.
then he becomes completely passive.
That's amazing.
No attacking.
He can't understand he doesn't understand the word though, does he?
He understands the command, the stimulus.
All right. Can I take my ring back now? Or?
No, I'll take it.
Thanks. You keep it. He's not only an attack cat but a thief.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting, Bob. I appreciate the ring back, and I also think it's fascinating what you're doing in training animals to do sort of strange things, and find termites and safe rings. Bob Outman, thank you from the Prion Animal Institute.
Coming up next, ex-car thief Tinker Whittier shows how to protect your car. Stay with us.
So the moral of what we saw there in that first part of the show is if you want an attack dog, buy a cat, and if you want to find termites, get a dog. Next time you want to find them. Right now, I'm going to introduce a gentleman who gave up a very lucrative career. For over 15 years, Tinker Whittier was one of the country's leading car thieves. Car thieves. Is that right? Car thieves. He stole cars. Whittier was one of the few people in, I guess, the world who can claim to have stolen over 1,000 automobiles. he was earning over $200,000 annually. Since then, he's changed careers, why he has done it, and how you can prevent your car from being stolen, as only a thief can tell you. Right now, we'll find out more about it. Would you welcome Tinker Whittier? Now, before we talk about your career and how people can prevent cars from being stolen, we took Whittier out with our camera today to, was it Fast Ed's or Easy Ed's?
Well, it was easy anyway.
We took him to a used car lot and had him open up cars that were locked, legitimately locked up, and you're going to see right now as we roll that tape, in about 20 seconds, Whittier broke into how many cars? 5?
Oh, there's 4 or 5
4 or 5 cars.
Yeah.
Here you're walking up, you see it on the monitor there, Whittier, and you use, just looks like a straight steel rod or something.
That's a coat hanger.
Coat hanger.
Your normal coat hanger that's in your house.
How long does it take you to break into a car?
About 2 to 3 seconds.
Are you serious?
No.
It takes me longer to get in without
With
a key.
Right,
yeah.
Sure.
And you drive away.
Right.
He walked up to all of the cars in the lot and just randomly we selected them and
Yeah.
you said it doesn't matter what car it is, I'll go into it with a coat hanger. You were 12 years old when you stole your first vehicle, I understand.
Yeah, it was a bulldozer.
You stole a bulldozer.
Right.
How is it that a 12-year-old would be stealing bulldozers?
Well, it was the best vehicle that was isolated. It belonged to the city. It was at the town dump, and I used to go down there and collect the bottles. That's when you could get 2 cents for a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
And I used to try starting this bulldozer, and I could never start it. And finally, a friend of mine that was going to trade school got me a book on bulldozers. Yeah. So it took me 2 weeks to read up on them, and then I had to find a place that had ether, because you had to have ether to start this bulldozer.
Yeah.
And I got it going. The only trouble was I ran it through a building because I didn't know how to stop it.
So you got the engine of the bulldozer started.
Yeah, and what happened was it had 2 motors. One's a pony motor and one's a regular motor. And when the big motor kicked in, it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I let my foot off the clutch, and it was in reverse, and I went right through a building, a hunting club.
Really?
And then I was really petrified.
You're 12 years old?
Yeah, and then I didn't know how to stop it, so I was afraid to jump off it, that I might get run over by the bulldozer. So finally I did jump off it in a farmer's field.
Yeah, what happened to the bulldozer?
It ran into a sand pit and just kept turning around, and I guess the farmer went over there and he knew how to shut it off.
Well, now, did this turn you on to a life of crime, or was it so exciting you couldn't stop?
No, that wasn't exciting. That was being terrified. But then there was a junkyard down the street, and this guy had 300 cars.
Yeah.
And I started watching these guys start up cars without keys.
Yeah.
And I said, boy, I can do that there. So I get the car started, but I was so young I couldn't reach the pedals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I had to wait until I took the seats out of the car and put a milk crate in there so I could start these cars up.
I said you'd stolen 10,000 cars or more over your career. Was there ever a time when in stealing a car, even though it takes 3 seconds to get in and not much longer to get going, where somebody was right on your tail, the owner of the car, as you were driving away or anything?
Well, you mean almost face to face, right? Yeah. I was waiting for a particular car. We had this computer system that we compiled information on different cars.
Who did? Who had
I did. And I'd have.
While you're stealing cars, you had a computer system?
Yeah, and we had 2,500 cars in this computer system, and I could tell you when you went to the doctor, where you went shopping, how many people
you would
drove
chase the car?
Yeah, we'd have these spotters follow the car for about 10 days.
Yeah.
And I
don't believe this. The insurance companies don't have that kind of equipment to find the car after it's stolen.
Well, well, we're pretty good at the business when we were in it, you know.
So when did you come? How did you get almost face to face?
Well, I'm in the shopping center and I'm waiting for this guy to come do his shopping on Saturday, and he was about 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
And he pulled up and he got out of the car, and it was one of these shopping plazas that had these electric doors.
Yeah.
And on one end of the shopping plaza, you would enter the building, and then way on the other end, you would exit after you get your groceries.
Yeah.
And while he's walking towards the door, I'm walking towards his car. And just when he goes through the door, I have his car door already open.
So he goes through the automatic doors.
Yeah, and it shuts.
Yeah.
And something told him to turn around or something, and I'm want to make sure he's continuing on. He turns around and he sees me with the door of his car open, and I'm looking at him and I'm debating whether he can get out of there. So then I know, he's waving his hands like this, and all of a sudden everybody in the supermarket, all you could see was faces looking out at the window.
So he can't get back out
He
that
can't
end.
get out, no. He's trying to run down or through all the carriages and where the cash registers are to the other door to get out the other electric door. And meanwhile, I'm pulling the ignition out, and I drove out of the lot with about 20 mad people out there waving their hands trying to catch me.
From that to the end of your career, I guess you went through like 9,000 cars. The incident that really got you off stealing cars involved a shotgun and a 4 a.m. knock on your door.
Yeah, well, you got to have a legitimate business, at least partially, in the volume of cars that I was doing.
Yeah.
So I had a garage, and I used to tow for the police department. And while towing for the police department, I was doing my own towing on the side. Right? And in Boston, where I came from, you had to be in some ring or something like that there in order to operate. But I was an independent. I was making 200 grand a year.
Now, where did the shotgun get into this?
Well, they wanted me to join up, and I didn't need any more partners.
Who, the police department?
No, I was already working for them.
I see, I see. The syndicate.
This is the syndicate. They wanted a part of the action. See, because I only stole luxury cars.
All right.
And all of a sudden, there wasn't too many luxury cars around because I was doing a landslide business. So they found out who was doing all this business, and I didn't belong to their clique. So they
The
came,
syndicate did.
Yeah.
All right.
So they came to me and they said, listen, you're going to need a little protection here in all this business you're doing. And I said, I'm doing fine, and I don't need anybody. And they said, well, you could get hurt in this business. I said, no. I said, no problems at all. Well, about 3 weeks later, 4 o'clock in the morning, I hear a rap on the door of my garage where I had about 60 hot cars in there being changed over. So I opened the door, and the guy had a sawed-off shotgun that was about 11 inches long, and he stuck it right in my forehead here. And he said, goodbye. And I reached up, and I grabbed the shotgun like this, and when I did, he pulled it back, and he put it like this here, and he pulled the trigger. And he blew my wrist off, and he blew the side of my chest off and 5 ribs. So I wound up in the hospital 3 months in a coma.
At that point, you saw the light.
No, I took a vacation.
Oh, I see. Well, let me tell the final part of it, because while he was recuperating in the hospital, a nurse came up to him and said, if you can escape, call me at this number.
And left me a number while the FBI was...
While he was out of the hospital later and back on vacation, he called her, and that became Mrs. Tinker Whittier.
Right.
And he's straight now, and also telling people how not to get their car stolen. And it's part of the hot car program, which Tinker was involved in, and we would... the details of it we won't go into now, but if you'd like information, just call us at Channel 4 and we'll give you the specifics.
Yeah, you participate.
And you will not get your car stolen unless he happens to go back in the business.
Well,
Tinker,
no,
thank you for joining us. Tinker Whittier.
Coming up next, a Japanese drum duel. Steve will be right back after this.
What you are about to see is going to blow your socks off. It's one of the most amazing spectacles you probably have ever heard when it comes to drums. It was originally used to drive away evil spirits and was thought to bring out rain in times of drought. On July 4th in San Francisco's Japantown, more than 50 drummers will present their music at the Japan Center Theater at 7 o'clock. Right now, to give us a thunderous sampling of some of what you'll see and hear, is San Francisco's own Master Tanaka and his taiko drummers. Master Tanaka and the taiko drummers. We'll be right back.
If you'd like to join Steve here in the studio, just give us a call at 561-8719 during regular business hours. That's 561-8719 for your free SFO tickets. Steve will be right back after this.
We're back. We just have a minute. Where do you want me here? Turn around. This good? Huh? Oh, good. Right there over by Guas. Now, we have a lady here. What's your name?
Patty.
Patty from Morgan Hill?
Morgan Hill.
Morgan Hill, which I've never heard of.
No, a lot of people haven't heard of
Well,
it.
now we had kind of an unusual show here tonight. We had attack cats, termite-seeking dogs, car thieves that don't steal cars, and Buddy Rich better watch out. That's all I can say. What did you like the best? Now, you've been sitting here watching it all.
I like the attack cat.
I thought it was a little sick myself, you know. I didn't think I was going to get that ring back. You like the attack cat, huh?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was interesting.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, now, on future shows, is there anything you'd like to see?
Oh, wow. I don't know.
More attack cat, huh? You're easy to please. Book that attack cat. We'll do it again. Incidentally, a lot of people have asked where we get the people that are on the show, and we get them from folks that call up or write letters and say so-and-so you should have on, and you know somebody that's a little strange who would fit our show, let us know about it. I appreciate your being with us. Thank you in the audience for being here, and thank you for joining us at home, 7:30 Monday through Friday. Next time around, Jim Lang of The Dating Game will be here, and we're also going to talk to a sex surrogate. Okay, thank you for being here. Hit it, Billy.
Some of the guests of SFO stay at the beautiful Hyatt Hotel on Union Square.